It is the 15th of August. This is Rabbi Levitt Horeb.
Okay.
What did we just read?
We just read 347.
Thank you.
So we're going to try to understand what we read. So, okay, so he's mentioning two types of methods of acquisition. There's two categories.
Okay.
There's one category called all the other types of methods of transaction other than chalipin. And then there's chalipin. What's the defining difference between them? So he says that and first he talks about all the types of acquisition other than chalipin. That's category number one. He says every acquisition of property is completed with the action. Okay, I'm assuming when he says the action, he's referring to the action of the kinyan. For example, in the case of Hagbah, so that's when you do the act of Hagbah, so that'll complete the acquisition, and so too by kinyan Mashiach. Okay, and okay, so but then he says something. It's not exactly like that. The article bears the name of the new owner only, really, after the lapse of a period of time that I'll just say that you could say Shalom Aleichem Rebbe. So it's first you do the act of acquisition, and then there's a certain period of limbo, the time that it takes to say Shalom Aleichem Rebbe, and then the acquisition is final. Now you'll ask, why is it like that? So he says, because within this period of time, which now he refers to it as Tokadei Dibor. Okay, we're not going to get into all that. That period of time it takes to say Shalom Aleichem Rebbe. So then rescission, I think that means backing out, right? That's what rescission means.
Yep. Yeah.
Backing out is impossible. Not really the thing to do as far as the Ratzon Hashem goes, but technically speaking, a person he has that ability to do that. It's still possible, he says. For the appropriation has not yet taken effect. Appropriation, I'm assuming, refers to the kinyan, the acquisition and the transfer from one person to the person who's now acquiring the article. And he says, then he mentions this idea. I don't know where he gets it from, but I'm assuming he's not making it up. Why do you have this time? It's the time that it cannot take effect on the article as long as it's not possible to visualize it. To visualize it. What's the it? To visualize the article now being owned by the new owner. And I'm understanding what this means is that that's really what the reason why you got this Shalom Aleichem Rebbe to back out, because the guy has to say to himself, wow, now this thing is now going to belong to him, and you got to let that sink in. Tokadei Dibor, Shalom Aleichem Rebbe. And if you don't want it, you can say, no, I don't want that. Sorry, too bad. So that's the way most kinyanim work. Now, for some reason, which I don't know why, but he says that that's not the way it works when it comes to a kinyan chalipin. Now, why? So this is the next part of this. You see how you have to analyze the words of Rev Hirsch. They're very it's like a Gemara. It's every single word is he wrote it with I mean, and these are not even his words. We're just reading a translator's words of his words. So, but you could see that the translator has faithfully translated all the nuances of what Reb Hirsch is saying, even though for us we realize that it's practically impossible to just read it and understand what he's saying here. Okay, so now, but where the transfer does not actually take place with regard to the article, but is to be made manifest consequent upon another act, like in the case of Chalipin. The passage of ownership is not completed as long as the relationship is still being negotiated. Okay, that I read it a second time, I'm thinking about it, and I realized that I don't know what he's talking about. Okay. Okay. Oh, so we tried. I think we got the first point. By Chalipin, it's different. For I don't know why, and I don't see what he's saying over here. Okay, fine. 348, and we go to Lut to continue the reading, and we're still waiting for the others. Oh, here's Roy. He was hiding behind the some other thing that was on the screen.
These are the principal rules of the Torah concerning the modes of acquisition of property. But just because the conception of ownership derives from man's unfettered authority over this earth which God has subordinated to him, every decision which one person or several persons have made with regard to their property must be respected by all. For it is in this conception that they respect the human personality. Consequently, the law allows full freedom of regulation for all relationships concerning property. And in particular, whatever is laid down as the law or custom of property by an association of human beings, a commune, a city, country, or state, must be observed as binding by all members of that community. For the word, the principal means of establishing ownership, owes its content and meaning to society. And the idea of ownership has its roots and safeguards only within this society itself. Force and violence rule in nature. Between man and man, the law is supreme. And only by standing united can human society represent and enforce the invisible and in itself powerless law against violence which scorns human personality. It is therefore our duty to make ourselves familiar with the law of contracts, of sale, donations, and property of the country and the city in which we live, and to observe them as inviolable law. Minhag ha-Medina ha-Perek Beis Din.
Hefker.
Pardon?
Hefker Beis Din.
Oh, Hefker?
Yeah.
Oh, Hefker Beis Din. Hefker, Dina Machusa Dina, Bekule, etc. So minhag is custom, Hamadina, a custom of the place of the community. Hefker Beis Din, ownerless in the court.
Hefker Beis Din Hefker. When Beis Din declares something Hefker, it's Hefker. Oh. Beis Din has the authority when it sees fit for the reasons that it sees as necessary to declare private Hefker.
And Dina Malchus Dina, the law of the land is the law, meaning that you have to follow the law of the secular government of the place in which you live.
Yeah, that's basically what he's saying here in the idea that right, the person can't say that well, he doesn't need to follow this law because it's not what the Torah says. I mean, it's not against what the Torah says. There's nothing. There's generally nothing that the government says which is especially in terms of monetary matters. We're not talking about moral matters, man. That's a different story. We're not talking about moral matters that affect chastity and sanctity in Klal Yisrael. We're talking about money. And when it comes to money and when it comes to property, the government that a Jew lives in the country that he lives in, they got a right to make the law, and we have to do what they say. We can't say, oh, who are they to tell us what to do? That's din malchus din. Things that regard generally matters of monetary matters or matters of physical safety, for example, to follow a traffic light, right? Something like that. And it even has yeah. So that's what it is. And even if it's not an official law of the land, even if it's just a minhag, that's the way things are here in these parts. In these parts, the rule is that when you hire somebody, this is what hiring somebody entails, and you got to, and that's the minhag Medina. You can't say, well, the Torah doesn't say that you have to do that. You have to follow the way that they do things, the way people are work and people are hired, and et cetera, et cetera. Of course, there's also halachas that can't be violated as well. To pay someone, Rav Hirsch spoke about that. I think in this section, the previous section, even if the law of the land doesn't require that, but then of course that would be required by the Torah. So the person has to do that because the Torah says so. But anything that doesn't conflict really with what what the Torah says, you have to follow the law. Okay. And he says a very interesting thing over here in the beginning. He says that this is the way that Hashem made the world. That man has the ability to acquire property, and and this property belongs to him, whether it's real property, whether it's personal property, and he's the owner, so to speak. And what does that mean? That means that somebody has to another person can't violate that person's ownership rights. And he says further that because this is called not just this is not just called following the law, but it's called respect for the person that owns the property. For it is this conception that they respect the human personality. And everybody knows that when somebody does something to your thing and you feel affronted. Why? It's just a thing. What, he didn't do anything to me. No, but it's something that it belongs to me. Oh yeah, it belongs to you. Yeah, it belongs to me. So it's not respecting me to not respect my property. Absolutely, I think that's what Hirsch is saying.
Lou, are you recording?
Yes, I'm recording.
Oh,
You don't say recording?
okay.
Yeah, I see it, Lou.
Oh, good.
I see it.
For
now I do.
almost 22 minutes.
Yeah, now I do. Sorry.
Thanks for checking. I appreciate your help in this, Roy, because sometimes I forget.
Sorry. Yeah, no. I moved the cursor and that showed it.
Okay, so with that, we will go forward to section 349. And everybody is read now except for Roy. So we call upon Roy, please.
Even after the word has been spoken, and according to the Tanakh, even the money has been paid.
Takana, according to Takana.
Oh, Takana. What's Takana?
Takana is like an ordinance.
Ah, right. So even after the word has been spoken, and according to Takana, even the money has been paid, property has not passed, and possession is still legally possible as long as the appropriation has not been completed by one of the prescribed legal forms of acquisition. Nevertheless, once the money has been accepted, or even if the buyer has merely designated the merchandise, either of the contracting parties who makes use of the legal right of rescission exposes himself to the displeasure of him who showed at the time of the flood, at Babel, at Sodom and Gomorrah, and in Egypt, that he looks at man's actions and punishes those who do not stand by their word, which has thus already become a deed.
Ishapara.
Mishapara. But even if nothing has happened but words, if you have only said that you intend to buy or sell, etc., thus not having exposed yourself to divine displeasure, you yourself should have respect for your word, or otherwise incur grave censure, and it deserves the name of unfaithful. For unfaithful is he who does not honor his word. If you have promised something to somebody in such a way that the other was expected to rely on it, it means breaking your trust if you do not keep your word.
Okay, so here we have a very interesting part of when it comes to transactions and buying and selling, where the Torah steps in. This is not something that has to do with the law of the land, but even though he mentioned previously that the person has that right to rescind and to back out of the deal in certain circumstances. We're not going to get into the actual halakhic whatever. He defines it himself. But there is such a thing, even though the deal has practically been sealed. But nevertheless, there is such a thing, even though the Torah allows him to do that. And if he does back out, he's backed out and he doesn't have to go through with it. Legally speaking, meaning according to the Torah. But nevertheless, there's at the same time that the Torah allows him to do that, the Torah strongly dissuades him from doing that and says that the Gemara already says this is that he gets a misha para if he does such a thing. He backs out like that, and that's what he's talking about over here. The displeasure of him who showed at the time of the flood in Bavel and Sodom and Amorah, not Gomorrah, but Amorah. I would take out the G. I don't like that. And in Egypt, and he looks at man's actions and punishes those who do not stand by their word. So we always have to be very careful with this matter. Very careful with this matter. Careful with our words. Okay. 350. Alan is on the roster over here, but he's his mic is red and his screen is red. Okay, so we'll go back to Meir.
Okay. I will continue.
Oh, wow, we got an awful lot more. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so 350. Good. It says, when you come to stand before God on high, our sages say to give account of your life, the first question will be, have you always been true to your word? Were you honest and upright in all your dealings? And woe betide those who will then have to lower their eyes. Do not say, but see, it is only a word. Do you not see that human society is founded on the word and on the confidence in and respect of the word, that the purest expression of man is his word, that with this word he completes his earthly task, and that to discard reliance on the word is to discard one's very humanity.
Wow.
That's powerful.
Yeah. So he says this is all included in what the Chazal say. This is a open Gemara in Shabbos. They quote it on the bottom. They don't cite it on the bottom, but this is what there's a number of questions that the Gemara says over there in Shabbos about the questions that a person's going to be asked when he goes to stand before Hashem after he takes leave from this world, and he points out, Rev Hirsch, that the very first question that is going to be asked is, did you do your Maseh Matan with Emunah? And how do we define what that means? Did you do your interpersonal dealings? Maseh Matan generally has connotations of monetary dealings with other people, and Rav Hirsch says, what does that mean? Have you always been true to your word? If you're true to your word, you'll be able to be honest and upright in all of your dealings. To really endeavor very greatly to fulfill your word. And it gets very sticky sometimes, because especially if something's not written down, and people can get into a situation where person number one accuses person number two, you promised that you would do this. You said that this is what you were going to do for me. And you say, I don't think that I promised that. I don't, so there's a misunderstanding. It's a very difficult matter. So if any, especially when it comes to money. So the best thing, he doesn't say it over here, maybe he's going to say it soon, write it down. And write it down clearly what it is that so that everybody understands what it is that they got to do, and then hopefully there's not any misunderstandings. Wow, the purest expression of man is his word. That's what Rav Hirsch is taking out from this Chazal, what Chazal say. A very, very important thing. Okay. 351. Back to Lou. Oh.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, good.
351.
Yes.
Buying and selling, etc. Do not take undue advantage by selling above or buying below value. Avoid even the smallest dishonesty. As soon as an excess profit amounts to 1/6 of the value of the price, this 1/6 should, according to Jewish law, be returned. And if it is more than 1/6, then the whole transaction is void, unless the victim has knowingly and deliberately conceded it. You should not retain coins that have been worn down by 1/12 of their worth, as this may easily result in disadvantage to others. You must not sell them to shopkeepers or traders. You shall not use them as weights or put them among old silver, but must melt them down or drill a hole in the center, but not at the side. But if they are worn down by half, deception is no longer possible, and it is permitted to retain them. Every big or little fraud in buying or selling is forbidden. Do not give your goods a deceptive appearance so that they seem better than they really are. Do not mix bad with good merchandise, old with new. Things which can be tasted before they are bought, and which each buyer tastes before he buys, you may mix. Do not let the upper layer be better than those underneath. Let there be no more tears in your goods than is normal.
Tars, that's a weight.
It's a weight.
Yeah,
No more weights in your goods.
than is normal. Yes, a tar is a certain weight. I don't know what it is.
In general, observe in these and similar cases the local trade customs. Do not sell damaged goods as perfect, nor goods that are unsuited for their purpose as suitable. Whoever steals a march upon someone in a sale or hire of something after they have come to terms is called wicked. So I don't understand the use of the word tears, and I don't understand the use of the word march.
Lou,
Yeah,
when you used to go to the supermarket, the cheese or deli count or whatever, what the person would do, as I recall, would tear a piece of paper that he's going to put the item on. And what he does, he weighs it. It's a small amount, but he still weighs it so that you don't get charged for the paper.
right.
I think that's what the
That
concept
there
of
be
tear
no more
is.
tears in your goods than is normal.
It might be, maybe I can look it up.
Well, I understand that's the meaning of the word tear. I just don't understand how it fits in the sentence.
Oh,
Let there be no more tears in your goods than is normal. There's a normal amount of tears that's allowed to be in your goods, but you can't have more than the normal amount. Because I guess then your customer is getting cheated.
yeah, it says the tear of a container is the weight when it's empty. So you don't want to get charged for the container.
Oh, you mean the
containers?
The container too. We used to do this at the deli or cheese counter at the store where they put the paper down, but I guess with containers too.
in other words, you're not okay.
Not supposed to charge for the container, only for the item you're buying, I guess.
Well, when you go to the supermarket and you buy potatoes, you don't want to put the potatoes in a heavy bag and weigh them, because then you're weighing the bag as well. So you put the potatoes either loose on the scales or in a bag that won't register its weight,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
like a
Or
paper.
any other vegetable for that matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so that takes care of tears. What about march?
What's more?
Whoever steals a march upon someone in a sale or hire of something after they have come to terms. Oh, it sounds like Jew number 1 and Jew number 2 have come to terms, meaning they've come to an agreement about the sale or hire of a certain thing. And then a third party comes in and he steals the business away.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What we got for time? So we will conclude with that.
Thank you.
Very good. We wish a good Shabbos to Mayor
Okay, have a good Shabbos,
and a good
everyone.
Arab Shabbos as well.
Ah, yes, very busy.
See you tomorrow.
Okay.
See you in a few minutes, but also tomorrow.
Okay. And we will be back very soon.
Okay,
Okay.
take care.